Good morning, respected employers, my HR fraternity friends and colleagues, and cross-functional friends and colleagues across the organizations of various size, types, and natures. Today I am going to talk about one of the three Ds. 3D means discipline, dedication, determination. These three are the pillars of success or failure or in between across all walks of life. Since I am confined to the organizational perspective or industrial perspective, so I will talk on the first D, that is discipline in respect of industrial and industrial organizations. What is discipline? Discipline is basically an instrument, a code of way of living or practicing which reinstates the well-defined code of conduct. Basically, discipline is defined or enumerated or enlisted in terms of code of conduct across all walks of industrial practices, industrial norms, industrial regulations, so on and so forth, and organization regulations, of course. Another way of looking at it as discipline is the mode of life in accordance with prescribed rules, regulations, procedures, or other modes of behavior by and through which an organization tries to regulate discipline inside the organization as also outside the organization. Now, in organizational perspectives or whatever perspective it is, discipline has two main variants. One is positive discipline, another is negative discipline. Discipline is a core necessity in the organization for its functioning, for accomplishing the objectives, accomplishing the tasks, accomplishing the functions, and deriving and delivering the desired results. So functional discipline has to be there, individual discipline has to be there, corporate level discipline has to be there, and in all across the policies, procedures, so on and so forth are to be set forth for implementation across the organization in terms of the discipline in positive way, so as to make the discipline proactive, productive, and supports in delivery of results by one and all in the organization. So what are the influencers in the discipline? Influencers are environmental factors are influencing very much in the discipline, whether in formulation, whether in application, whether in conformance, whether in abiding by, so on and so forth. Another factor is organizational factors. Yes, in organization, discipline has a all-pervasive application, presence, and implications through and through, top down. In this, I will be little bit critical to say that discipline starts from the top, never from the bottom. It has to be top down. So if an organization is targeting to make the discipline as a parameter or as an instrument, as a tool, as a driver, as a regulator of people behavior inside the organization and outside the organization, then top management has to have dedicated, discipline oriented culture, behavior, and for that purpose they need to formulate code of conduct adhering to the discipline right from their own perspective, own way, and with a commitment to follow the set code of conduct or code of principles across the organization, starting from themselves. If the top management thinks discipline is for workers, discipline for employees, discipline for managers, I am sorry to say that is not going to work unless discipline starts from top management and flows down accordingly down the line to the bottom of the organization. So discipline is always top-down process. It has to be meticulously, categorically, ethically followed by the top management inside the organization, outside the organization, to make the organization discipline oriented. Third is individual factors. Yes, individual has their own perception, own conception, own way of behaving, own way of habits, so on and so forth, which shapes their own discipline paradigm. But organization has the incumbency to shape the individual behavior into the cultural behavior or organizational behavior for the sake of organization's combinations and delivery in the process of disciplining way. What is behavior? Behavior is the product of day-to-day habit, takes to practice, and practice shapes into behavior, and multiple of behavior creates the culture. So organizations has to look into the discipline in broader perspective, which ultimately results in the building of cultural shape in the organization. So three influencers are there: environmental factor influences, organizational factor influences, individual factor influences, and code of conduct has to be derived, has to be framed, has to be formulated, has to be implemented in accordance with the code of conduct as a matter of disciplining in the organization, right from the top down to below to the end level. Why not? Everywhere there should be discipline. So discipline is all pervasive a component in the organization for its working day to day, for towards way forward, for near future, better future, and continued future as well. For now, for later, and it will continue, because shaping behavior, individual behavior in the organization has to have a set standard, set code of conduct within the organization, which are to be followed by all individuals across the organization from top down and bottom up. So flow of discipline is from corporate level to the operational level, then to the formal group level. Formal group, I mean functional group, that is departments, functions, sections, so on and so forth, which are formally designed, derived by the organization structure and synergies. Another is informal group. It is there obvious that in every organization there are formal groups and informal groups. Informal groups are much more powerful in the organization which does not have any structure. Structure is informal organization, informal behavior, informal groups are very much powerful, and those are to be handled in a very delicate way by the HR fraternities, functional fraternities, and the top management as well. In this perspective, let me share the trade unionism, though is a formal group, but in the trade union itself, there are informal groups as well. In the managerial, junior level, mid level, senior level, even at top level, there are formal groups designed by the organization in terms of organization structure, synergies, so on and so forth. But informal level groups always continue to work alongside the formal groups, and informal group management is much more important to ensure discipline management in the organization. Even though there are structures, there are policies, there are procedures, there are code of conduct, so on and so forth. So discipline management in the organization is not a very easy task, and there are a lot of insights, and undercurrent understanding of discipline, presence of discipline, status of discipline, way of discipline, and level of discipline are to be determined by continuous analysis by the HR fraternity, followed by putting the reports to the top management and taking action in the process of implementing code of conduct, code of principles, and corporate principles, so on and so forth. So these are to be very much meticulous, and I must say discipline management in organization is very tedious, very delicate, and very essential. Without discipline, nothing moves. But managing the discipline is very much crucial in the organizational perspective. This is the macro view of discipline as a whole. I have tried to explain in this particular video. And discipline management, it is only a basic fundamental what I have shared today. In my next video, I will share more on this topic, discipline management, and I will continue to share on discipline till the process of disciplinary action, discipline management, union matters, so on and so forth, and industrial strife, industrial relations, all will come into the purview in my next videos. For now, these major and macro perspective of discipline I have tried to share with the organization with a saying that discipline has to be there, discipline has to be activated, implemented, practiced, and make it a habit and behavior within the organization by way of code of framing out practical code of conduct and principles added by top management and down to the down level organization, down to the peon level as well, from top down and bottom up process, and there has to be a synergy in the disciplining process. Otherwise, there will be a gap, and that gap has to be filled in by actions and implementations of actions needed to rectify, correct, to shape the behavior in terms of the required behavior within the organization and outside the organization. In this video, I have just given some macro hints on discipline management. In my next video, I will try to give much more input on the discipline to go ahead with down the line to discipline management of individual as also union as also employees, so on and so forth. Thank you very much. I have given some more detail in the description and look forward to give you more inputs in my next video. Thank you. Thank you very much.